Alright, so here's a quick little video review for G1 Skullcruncher. You'll notice a little bit of a background difference here. I have moved to the day shift here at work, so I'm not shooting in the studio anymore. I'm back here in my office, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm just taking a moment break. I'm going to shoot a little video review here for Skullcruncher. If you remember from my Crocs review, I mentioned that my friend Jeremy had sent me just the body with none of the accessories because he knew I like Skullcruncher and he didn't have the accessories for it, so he just let me have the raw body of it. And after reviewing Crocs the other day, I finally went down and hunted and collected the accessories I needed to make him complete. So here we go. Now this is one of the ones, like I said, he and Chrome Dome were I think my two favorite headmasters as a kid. Chrome Dome I didn't have for very long growing up, but Skullcruncher was one of the first headmasters I got, and really dug him as a kid. So here he is in his Crocodile mode, and he does also come with his pistol, which doesn't really store anywhere. There's no little place to plug it in Crocodile mode. But what I used to always do when I was a kid is that you can kind of flip his fist up here out of his paw, and I would just put the little gun in his paw like that. Because when I was younger, I was probably 10 or 11 when he came out. I used to think it was hilarious that this little crocodile would be, or alligator would be running around carrying a gun. So yeah, you can store it there, but unfortunately, unlike a lot of the modern figures, they don't incorporate all the weapon storage like they're trying to do with a lot of the toys these days. As a real quick size comparison, here he is with Crocs, and you'd see he's a little bit longer, obviously a little chunkier. His head's a lot larger in relation to his body, but just to give you an idea of how well they did Crocs, here like this. So yeah, not a whole lot to talk about. He's an alligator. There's not a whole lot of poseability. You can move his front legs a little bit. He's got some pretty tight ratchets here on his elbows, but these legs are screwed on, and they have a little range of motion in them, but they don't click or rotate much more than that. And that even may just be because of a loose screw. I remember he didn't have a whole lot of articulation. You can open up his jaw, and of course the headmaster sits inside his mouth. But yeah, outside of that, he's just a little gator. Now his transformation is fairly basic. You want to pull this off, just like on Crocs. You pull this off, and this makes the end of his tail off, and that makes a little sword for him in robot mode. A little stubbier than Crocs is, but there you go. And it's just a matter of you split the tail halves just like this, bring them out and around, fold the legs down, rotate them around at the waist, fold the gator head onto his back, and of course get the headmaster out. And the arms just come down, and again, a couple little tight ratchets there at the elbow. Flip his fist out, fold the front paw down behind there, and same on the other side. So there's his body. Go ahead and bring this up just a bit. And of course, a Croc, you just flip this up, fold them in half. He's a head. Plug it on. He's got the little opening chest flap, so you can watch his little power meter. He's very strong. Semi-intelligent, very low speed. More intelligent than I would expect from an alligator. And then his weapons can just go in his hands. They fit in either one. And for the sword, push this tab up here. You just use this middle tab between there's 3 tabs, but there's enough space for it to tab into his hand. So there's Skullcruncher in robot mode. I'm super excited for the new Hasbro one they showed off, him and Hardhead. They both look great, so I'm looking forward to those when they eventually come out in the Titan Wars line, or Titan's Return, or whatever they're calling it. Yeah. So anyway, here he is with Chrome Dome, one of the other G1 headmasters, and I feel like Skullcruncher is probably more the average size of the G1 headmasters. They obviously, you can see they varied a little bit in their height in robot mode. Chrome Dome I remember being a little taller than most, but like I said, because Chrome Dome's a little taller than Brainstorm, and I don't currently have any other ones out aside from Fort Max, who obviously was much taller, to compare him to. I guess Weird Wolf was Actually, Weirdwolf was just slightly shorter than Chrome Dome, so Weirdwolf was kind of in between these two. And maybe it's just because I had him for the longest time when I was younger, but I always imagined Skullcruncher as being more the relative height for Headmasters, and Chrome Dome being one of the outliers, being a little larger. But, still fun toys. And then, since we had him out, here he is with the new Crocs from Fans Project. And, again, I know some people complained about the windows on the chest, and you can see it's not exactly accurate to each other, but the heads are very similar and look nice. Like I said, I do think Crocs is a really nicely updated version of G1 Skullcruncher, and they look pretty decent together. You can clearly tell that they're the same character when they're side by side here. So, yeah, fun little figure from G1, one I had as a kid and loved. So it's kind of nice to have him complete on my shelf again with Chrome Dome. And so, yeah. As for the review space, like I said, I just started this week at the day shift at work. So I'm working on getting a nice review space set up as a regular thing back at home. But since I had a break today and I hadn't put out a new video yet, and TFCon's coming up this weekend, I'm looking forward to that. So I'll see some of you there. But yeah, I wanted to shoot a little review since I got all the parts and had him all together. That's also part of the reason, like, if I seem a little bit more quiet and subdued, like, even though I am on break, there are plenty of people, in offices nearby. Like, I don't want to be like, yeah, when I was here at night and I had the whole building to myself, I could get a little bit more enthusiastic. I'm trying to keep it calm just so I don't bug anybody in the offices around me. But yeah, I'm really, really happy to have him back again. Thank you, Jeremy, for the body, which kind of gave me the impetus to go and grab the accessories for it. Anyway, there's Skullcruncher, and I'll see you guys at TFCon.